Hi there, it's Marty from the UK, and you're watching Sean Likes Spaceships. And you know what? I do too.
Hey, it's Sean. Before you and I get into the video this week, I thought I should point out that while I did take inspiration from a very famous 12-step program, I am in no way making fun of that program or anyone who is currently using or has ever used that very famous 12-step program. I think that people who are trying to better themselves should not be mocked. I'm a prick, but I'm not that kind of prick. Okay, with that out of the way, on with the show. Delightful. In 2011, writer and sometimes director Joe Cornish wrote and directed a movie called Attack the Block. He had a banger of a concept. What if he made a sci-fi horror comedy where there was an alien invasion set in the projects of South London? Now, me being a middle-aged American who has a public school education, I knew as much about South London as I knew about the socio-economic climate of Turkmenistan, which is to say, nothing. I mean, now, of course, I know that Turkmenistan boasts one of the biggest natural gas reserves on Earth, and it's a state-run authoritarian economy, but that's current day me. Back in 2011, not so much. Attack the Block is a movie that didn't do well in theaters, but has become somewhat of a quiet secret favorite of mine over the past decade and a half. I first watched the film when it came to VOD and I liked it, but it didn't make a huge impact on me until later. Maybe because 2 years before this movie's release, District 9 was already out? Maybe because in 2011 I was busy with my life, which was perfect in every way, and the sun shined all the time and I was constantly smiling? Maybe it's because I'm half an idiot. I don't know why, but I just felt a general warmness for Attack the Block and I thought I would just move on. But over time, that feeling turned into a deep-seated respect that you might have for, say, your friend's wife. And now, in the year of our Lord 2026, I can say that I legitimately love Attack the Block. The kind of love that you might have for your other friend's wife, whose smoke so hot and she deserves someone better. It's more of a lust than a love, really. And when you really think about it, your friend doesn't really treat her like she should be treated. And Lindsay, if you're watching this, these are just jokes because I make jokes. I love you. So how in the name of Shoney's Big Boy did I go from sort of kind of liking a movie to genuinely loving it? Well, I'm glad you asked, Susan, because in this episode of Sean Likes Spaceships, I'm going to teach you how to learn to love Attack the Block in 10 easy steps. Oh, and there's also spoilers ahead. Step 1 is honesty. The first act of this movie sucks. The kids, who are the main characters, suck in the first act. They're supposed to suck. They're supposed to have a character arc. Learn it, Dominic Toretto.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
No, you don't. They speak in a sort of London gang slang, which sucks. They mug a nice lady at the beginning of the film. That sucks. Even the spaceships at the beginning of this movie suck. But here's the thing. You are going to see a 17 years old John Boyega playing the role of Moses, and you are going to say to yourself, I think I know why they put him in a Star War. Because he's awesome in this, and that doesn't suck. And once Moses gets arrested, it's like the film just shifts into another gear. And you'll find yourself saying, well, hot damn, that sweet Jonesy from the internet knows what he's talking about. Step 2, hope. When the movie begins, Moses has literally no hope at all. The best he can ever hope for is to sell drugs for the gangbanger that lives in his apartment complex. Things are bleak, dude. Later on in the movie, you see Moses' bedroom and you think there might be a child staying there with him, but there is a child staying there. It's him, because you learn he's only 15. But by the end of the movie, Moses has hope. He knows he's not going to be a drug dealer. He knows he's going to get out of the projects, and it is so satisfying.
You hit her. That's for you, man.
They're currently in pre-production for Attack the Block 2, and Moses better be nowhere near those projects. Step 3, surrender. There are moments in this movie that are incredibly clunky. The aliens look weird. There's a chase scene that looks like it was filmed in someone's backyard. At times, it's going to seem like the Little Rascals were putting on a show. This movie was made for a comparatively small amount of money, and you have to learn to be okay with that, or otherwise, you're going to have a bad time.
If you run into another skier, your skis are gonna cross, gonna have a bad time.
Doesn't my background look fake? It's not though. See? It's real. We'll blame the lighting. Lighting change. Step 4 is courage. This movie was made during a time when the press and even the government in the UK was demonizing poor people, specifically black kids wearing hoodies. It still happens, but not like they did it in 2011. Well, it looks like 2026 Sean knows a little something about London. Step number 5, integrity. Look, man, I could shoehorn in a whole thing here about how the makers of Attack the Block have integrity, but the fact of the matter is I've never met these guys. I have no idea if they have integrity or not, but if I ever do meet them, I have one question that I will ask to see if they have integrity. So here is my question for them. When you were on set and the set PA brought you your coffee that you know they just spent the last half hour making sure that you got exactly right, along with 25 other people's orders that they had to get exactly right, then hustle back to set, and they handed you your coffee, did you actually turn to them and thank them, or did you pull one of these? Thanks. Number 6 is willingness. You have to be willing to be honest with yourself. And if I'm being honest with myself, the movies that I love the most are movies that come at me with new ideas. So when you take Attack the Block and you see some inner city kids fighting some furry monsters with glow-in-the-dark teeth, I've never seen that before. Good job by you, movie. Go get yourself a popsicle out of the fridge. You've earned it. Step number 7 is love. It's okay to love a movie if you know the movie is going to love you back. It probably doesn't seem like it, but I'm busier than a lawyer who works for a tobacco company. So when I sit down to watch a movie, I want to love that movie, and I want that movie to love me back. And the only way I know that a movie is going to love me back is by knowing that someone whose name is on the poster put their soul, their heart, their love into the making of this movie, and there is no doubt in my mind that Joe Cornish, who birthed this idea from nothing, absolutely loves the movie that he made. He came up with the idea after he was mugged. He learned the street kid lingo after he interviewed youth centers in South London. And he even created what the aliens would look like because he remembered from when he was a kid he had a cat, and every time the light would hit his cat in a certain way, the cat would look two-dimensional. Now let me ask you this. Do you think there is a single person who worked on the movie Madam Web who put that kind of thought and effort into the making of that film? Because I'm pretty sure there is not a single person who worked on Madam Web who thinks that movie is their finest achievement. Step number 8 is responsibility, and ultimately, you are responsible for your own enjoyment. The concept of this video is 10 easy steps to loving Attack the Block, and I have done the work. So anyone who says, I rewatched it after watching your video and I still hate it, that shit is on you. Maybe it's just not your thing. Maybe you have bad taste. Maybe you suck. I don't know. Maybe you were expecting something else. Don't be like the IMDb user reviews. There's a guy named Nimrod Chad who wrote, "Nothing like Shaun of the Dead, 1 out of 10 stars. Nimrod Chad, maybe the problem lies within. Step number 9 is awareness. I didn't even notice it till the last time I watched this movie, but cops are never the answer in this film. They're either getting in the way or completely incompetent at their jobs. And that sounds exactly like a John Carpenter movie from the 70s and 80s. Cops are never the answer in a John Carpenter movie, and that's when I put it together. Attack the Block is a John Carpenter movie wrapped up in British wrapping paper. Put that shit on a poster! Last step is step 10, service. Every single scene in this movie is in service to advance the plot. It's like a really lean cut of veal or a heroin chic runway model. There ain't an ounce of fat on that bad boy. And being under 90 minutes makes me want to kiss this movie right on the mouth. If there's 3 things I love, it's electric scooters, reaping terrible vengeance on those who have done me wrong, and movies that are an hour and a half long. That shit's on the record. You can look that up. I don't know if this matters to you, but Quentin Tarantino loves Attack the Block. But he also loves The Lone Ranger and Feet, so your mileage may vary on that. Joe Cornish had the luxury of getting to call his shot on the movie he wanted to make because he's friends with Edgar Wright, who's an executive producer on Attack the Block. Most filmmakers don't get that sort of chance and start their career in the film industry by offloading trucks in 100-degree heat because their friends' movies didn't become internationally beloved. Now, I'm not singling anyone out here, but it's me. I'm talking about me. And while Joe Cornish might be known for writing Quantum of Solace, The Adventures of Tintin, and Ant-Man, he's acted in a few movies as well. He's in Star Wars, The Last Jedi, Hot Fuzz, and Shaun of the Dead in small roles. I'm not sure if I'm going to like Attack the Block 2. Who knows? Maybe I'll see it and it'll take me roughly 15 years to learn that it's actually great. Maybe an aging reformed dirtbag will make a YouTube video in 2041 convincing me that it's actually great. I don't know the future, but I do know that it'll look nothing like Back to the Future 2, which is a shame because I'd love to hang out in that 80s themed restaurant. Hey, will you look at that? Our waiter looks like Max Headroom. What will they think of next? You already know I love Attack the Block, but the big question here is, will you? It really depends. Are you the type of person who can sit through the first season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, even though it totally sucks? Because if so, then you're probably going to like Attack the Block, but I'm bad at guessing. One time my friend came up to me and said, "Hey, guess who's gay?" And I guessed wrong. Thankfully, he only brings it up every single time I see him. My name is Sean, and I like spaceships. And that's it for how I learned to love Attack the Block in 10 easy steps. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Like and subscribe. But it made the suits crazy.